You won't believe how early her story began. Before she could even speak, Brooke Shields became a product, not a child. Born into chaos in Manhattan in 1965, her father was a wealthy dreamer with no sense of duty, and her mother was a woman who drank too much, dreamed too high, and gambled everything on her daughter's face. At just 5 days old, Terry Shields promised, "I'll make her a star." And she did. But the price was Brooke's innocence. Piano lessons, ballet, acting, every moment rehearsed for a life she never chose. While other kids were learning to walk, Brooke was learning to perform. When others played in the sun, she learned how to pose. Each camera flash became another brick in her golden cage. Behind every photograph was a mother's hunger and a child's silent scream. Fame was never her dream. It was a destiny written by someone else's hands. Her first role came at just 11, Alice, Sweet Alice. A dark film about fear, innocence, and tragedy. Fitting, in a way, because the line between her on-screen story and her real life would soon blur. But that was only the beginning. Even before that, she had already been introduced to the spotlight, a child shaped by the ambitions of adults. At 10, her image was sold to the world, long before she could understand what that meant. Later, she tried to reclaim her own face, her own story, but the law said no. Because contracts had been signed. Because the system didn't see her as a child, but as a brand. Then came Pretty Baby, 1978. Brooke was barely a preteen, yet the film placed her in a world meant for adults. Critics praised it as bold, daring art. Others questioned its ethics, calling it a disturbing reflection of the industry. Brooke herself called it confusion. The world made her famous, but not free. Every camera flash, every interview, every magazine cover reminded her that she wasn't seen as a person, but as a symbol. A symbol created, owned, and sold by those around her. Through it all, her mother stood beside her, proud, confident, and in control of everything. Every appearance, every headline, every dollar earned came at a cost Brooke herself had to bear. It was success built on sacrifice. And the sacrifice was Brooke's childhood, her peace, her sense of self. The world saw a rising star, but behind the glow was a girl learning too soon what fame can take away.
Thank you very much. When we received word that I was in a film entitled Sahara and starring, because I couldn't have missed this for the world, and I have to tell you that.
By 16, Brooke Shields was everywhere, magazine covers, billboards, talk shows. The world saw perfection. But Brooke saw exhaustion. Her life had become a schedule, a product managed by her mother like a corporation, meetings, rehearsals, contracts. From the outside, it looked like a dream. But inside, Brooke was breaking. So she made a choice that shocked Hollywood. She walked away. She left the cameras, the fame, the endless noise, and went to Princeton. For the first time, she wanted to live not as a celebrity, but as herself. A student. A person. But fame doesn't fade so easily. It followed her like a shadow. Paparazzi waited outside her dorm, shouting her name. Cameras tried to capture every glimpse of her private life. Even in moments meant to be safe, someone was watching. Her privacy was gone, her life turned into public property. Then came fear. An obsessed stranger began following her, leaving messages, parking outside her home, writing her name on his car windshield. The police intervened, but the damage was done. Brooke realized that fame doesn't just take your childhood. It takes your safety. It takes your peace. And sometimes, it takes your soul. Years later, another scar surfaced, a story she had kept hidden. A director had taken advantage of her when she was young and vulnerable. Brooke stayed silent, not out of weakness, but because the world back then didn't believe women like her. Behind the image of beauty and fame was a girl trying to survive a world that never let her be human.
Well, the first attraction that I had to it, along with the script when we had read it, first there wasn't they added I knew it would be done very well, and I knew that it was simple, easy scenes.
Yeah.
Where I just sort of had to look.
At Princeton, Brooke met someone who felt different from the world she knew, Dean Cain, the man who played Superman. He was gentle, grounded, and real. Everything fame wasn't. For a moment, she felt like a normal girl again. But her mother disapproved, and like so many things in her life, the decision wasn't hers. The relationship ended, and Brooke returned to the only thing she knew, work. Then came Andre Agassi, a tennis legend with a wild heart and deep scars. They married, chasing the idea of love that could heal them both. But addiction and anger slowly tore that dream apart. One night, after Brooke's lighthearted cameo on Friends, Agassi saw her act in a scene and, in a jealous rage, destroyed his trophies. That was when Brooke realized she wasn't saving a man, she was losing herself again. The divorce left her hollow, but finally free. Fate gave her another chance. She met writer and producer Chris Henchy, a quiet man, a kind soul, and a strange twist, through a lost dog. With him, Brooke found stability, laughter, and the kind of love that asked for nothing in return. But even love couldn't protect her from pain. She lost her first pregnancy, and when she finally became a mother, she fell into the darkness of postpartum depression. The world saw the smiling actress. She saw the edge of despair. Her memoir told the truth, raw and unfiltered. And when Tom Cruise publicly mocked her for seeking help, Brooke didn't argue. She chose grace instead of anger. She forgave him, but she never forgot.
I don't have room for my legs now because you're
in a skirt.
No, that's fine. You're just
Okay.
so tall.
Negotiating it.
We didn't tell them.
We've had it. It was the first comic strip movie of its kind.
In 2021, Brooke Shields faced a test unlike any role she had ever played. A gym accident shattered her leg and nearly broke her spirit. 3 surgeries. Months confined to bed. A body that refused to move, and a mind battling to stay strong. But Brooke did what she had always done, she fought. With every small victory, every painful step, she reclaimed not just her strength, but her will to live on her own terms. Her story had always been one of survival. When her mother passed away in 2012 after years of dementia, Brooke faced a storm of emotions, grief, anger, and an unexpected tenderness. The woman who had built her career had also built her pain. Selling their Hamptons home felt like closing a chapter haunted by ghosts. Yet in that goodbye, Brooke found something she had been chasing all her life: forgiveness. Today, she lives in Manhattan with her husband, writer Chris Henchy, and their 2 daughters. Her days aren't ruled by cameras or contracts anymore, but by laughter, family dinners, and the simple joy of being present. She speaks openly about the scars fame left behind, mental health, loss, recovery, turning her pain into purpose. The world once knew her as the child star trapped in other people's stories. Now, she owns her own. From exploitation to empowerment. From silence to strength. Brooke Shields, the girl who grew up in the glare of the spotlight, became the woman who rebuilt herself from the inside out. And this time, she's not playing a part. She's finally living the life she chose.